You may remember Alan Hansen's comments about what it takes to win a major championship. Alan said, you don't need a team full of world-class players, you just need 3 plus a bunch of very good players. And I think England have got them. What I think is more interesting is what constitutes a world-class player. And I'm going to have a go in just a second. Before I do, I've got a bit of bad news. Now, Hammers Chat tried to arrange an event on the 22nd of October, where a load of us could meet at a pub in Hornchurch, and we would do we'd do a live event basically, or watch the game together. Unfortunately, it's off. I could spend ages explaining why. I just want to say, firstly, we're very, very sorry. We tried to create an event which was free for everybody to go. The short version of the story is there's not the infrastructure. They don't have the equipment there for us to do the event. We were assured that they would have it. Now it's not. We can't do it. So I just want to apologise and say that it is off. Honestly, can't say sorry enough for that one, really. But we've only learnt very, very late ourselves. Anyway, back onto the England game and this whole world-class player thing. I was actually listening to Talk Sport the other day, and there was an argument going, had nothing to do with England, but it was about world-class players. And I think actually it was a conversation about David Beckham. Was David Beckham world-class? And Alan Pardew, who was one of the hosts on the radio show, said something that I thought was quite interesting. He said for him, he said there's a difference between world-class and being the best player in the world. So there would have been a time when Messi was the best player in the world or Ronaldo was the best player in the world. What Pardew said was, there are more than one at any given time. So he basically said, are you one of the top 5 players in your position in the world? That would make you world-class. I thought, okay, well, this is interesting. Having just watched England, and I am going to say this, dismantle Italy, I just marvelled at a couple of the performances in there, namely Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. Now, this is really, really important because we've been put to the test and failed against Italy in recent years when it came to the crunch in the biggest game. They're a tough team. They always will be a tough team. Italy, they'll always be incredibly well organised and have a very, very good defence. They are always going to be a tough team to beat. But I tell you what, I can't think of too many examples when we have looked so comfortable against an Italian team. Now, it's going to take a little bit more than that to win the Euros. And, well, you're probably going to have to beat France. But I tell you what, I think England have got every chance of doing so. Let's just talk about those world-class players for a second. Firstly, Jude Bellingham. He's an amazing footballer. I mean, I'm sure I don't have to convince any of you that he is one of the top 5 players in his position in the world at the moment. 20 years of age. He appears to have it all. And what is remarkable, I mean, I could talk to you about his skills, his athleticism, his in-game management, his intelligence, all of those things he has in abundance. He was a level above anything that Italy had. And I think he's probably a level above almost anyone. Whenever I see him play for Real Madrid, with the exception of probably Vinicius Jr., he seems to be a level above almost everybody there as well. But he's got leadership qualities. How can you have leadership qualities? Honestly, how can you have leadership qualities when you are 20 years of age? Honestly, when I was 20 years of age, I'm not going to tell you what I was doing at 20 years. I almost let it slip there. I'm not going to tell you what I was doing at 20 years of age. It's none of your business. But I certainly wasn't demonstrating any leadership qualities. Let's put it that way, that's for sure. He's a remarkable footballer, and barring injury, and this will keep our fingers crossed that he doesn't get any, you are surely looking at the best player in the world at some point in his career. He is that good. He's just the type of player that's going to make whatever team he plays for even better. And that's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do with England. It's not an easy thing to do when you're with Real Madrid, that's for sure. And I'm pretty sure had Jude Bellingham not have been missing for the last little bit, there was a couple of games towards the end, wasn't there, of Borussia Dortmund's season in the Bundesliga, then they would have beaten Bayern Munich to the league title. That's how special a player he is. Honestly, I could talk about Jude Bellingham all the time. I think more important than that, I could watch Jude Bellingham play football indefinitely. An amazing footballer. I don't watch everybody play football. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of other teams. You'll laugh, you're thinking, oh, I don't even have an encyclopedic knowledge of West Ham. Never mind other teams. I don't watch, aside from West Ham, I don't watch much other football. He's the type of guy you turn the telly on to watch, and I just hope, I would really like to watch him play live at some point. That would be, I think it'd be a privilege. I can't really speak more highly than that. What about Harry Kane? It's just an amazing footballer. He's incredible. Is it just me, or is he getting better? I don't know. Maybe it takes that. We haven't seen it enough from English players over the years to go overseas like Bellingham and like Harry Kane has done now, and actually learn your trade, and not learn your trade. Perhaps Bellingham's learning his trade overseas, but Harry Kane seems to be putting the sprinkles on top, doesn't he? Really, he's amazing, and I thought he was incredible. And that young defender that Italy had, whose name escapes me now, 19-year-old, looks really good. Big lad, got an education. As I record this, got an education tonight. I'll probably release it in the morning. So we're talking about last night, but you get what I'm saying. Amazing. Harry Kane is fantastic. Got two world-class players there, both of whom absolutely are in the top 5 of their position in world football. Who's the third then? Who's third? Or is there? Is there a fourth? Is there a fifth? I don't know, but I do think we got a third. That's for sure. And it's going to be very familiar to West Ham fans because it's Declan Rice. I thought Declan Rice was really good against Italy. Now, don't get me wrong, he did give the ball away once and it prompted an Italian counter-attack. However, he was instrumental in the first goal. He's not doing anything that he didn't do at West Ham, Declan. Let me put that right. I knew it was going to happen, that there would come a time that he would leave West Ham and everyone would say, oh, Declan Rice is a good player, isn't he? Look. He's playing like Declan Rice. What I have noticed, though, I do wonder if when he was playing for West Ham and he was in England, he sort of almost played within himself, almost like his place might have been up for grabs, something like that. Maybe him being at Arsenal was giving him enough to show a more expansive side to his game that he used to show at West Ham. I always felt for West Ham, he would go on dribbles, he would go on runs, he'd do long passes. Whereas with England, he played within himself. I saw a bit more for England in that game against Italy. Passing between the lines, moving the game forward. Really good player. Is Declan Rice one of the top 5 defensive midfielders in world football? Yes, he absolutely is. So as far as I'm concerned, that gives us 3 world-class players. But it doesn't stop there. It really, really doesn't. West Ham. England have also got some pretty damn good players as well to complement those world-class stars. I think in Phil Foden, there's a very, very good player there. World-class, maybe not quite yet. I was going to say top 5 in his position. I don't even know what his position is. He gets moved around a lot, and that's a testament to Phil Foden, really. Very, very good player. And I think that the point is Foden is very comfortable playing alongside Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. Looks like he fits, doesn't he? Really, really good. So I think, that's going to bode really well for England. No doubt about that at all. I think Rashford did look good. Scored a really good goal as well. I think sometimes he hangs on to the ball a little bit too much, but you're going to have that. Not everyone's going to be perfect. Is Rashford world class? No, he's not. But I think he suits the team well, and he gives some real pace, a real outlet, and you've got to have that in your team. So again, I think he's a very, very good player. I think if all of those guys are playing well, then it's troublesome for the opposition team. I still think there's a place up for grabs in central midfield. The whole Phillips thing is a little bit odd, and Phillips looked like he was... Well, he looked rusty, I guess, didn't he? I mean, he was conceding fouls, and he looked like a guy that wasn't playing regular first-team football all the time. And that's why I think I featured it in the video, in the news roundup, didn't I, that I did yesterday, when I suggested that he was looking for a club and now he was going to consider West Ham. Well, I bet he would, actually, because he needs to get that rustiness out. He needs to be playing week in, week out to get his place in Southgate's team. That being said, I don't think Southgate needs to play 2 holding midfielders when he's playing anyone other than the top sides. And Italy are a top side. All I would say is what I said in my video yesterday. If I was certainly Calvin Phillips, I'd guard against thinking you're going to go to West Ham and get in the team, because I don't think he necessarily comes in and pushes Edson Alvarez or James Ward-Prowse or anyone else out the team, for that matter. Certainly not on that show. But look, he's a decent enough player. I do actually wonder, somebody else who's not world class, but in his terms of his delivery and his free kicks and his crossing is world class, is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Unfortunately, he's too much of a defensive liability to play him in defence there at all. I do wonder if some of the weaker teams, maybe Southgate might look to put him in midfield against some of those weaker teams. Who knows? There's Kyle Walker, world class? No, but a damn fine player. And I'd say the same with John Stones as well. Really, really good. Then you've got players that are going to come off the bench and players that can really feature and impact for England, like Jack Grealish. Not that he did anything particularly when he came on, but he's just a very talented footballer. He got Saka to come back. There's a load of players there who maybe aren't world class. Isn't it ridiculous that there's a £100 million player? And I said, I'm not sure he's world class, but you know what I mean. These are very, very good players, and they're still to come back in the team, which I think gives England a hell of a chance in the Euros. I really do. And, I mean, Southgate has, I was going to say, come in for a load of stick like someone else has been doing it. I've given Southgate a load of stick over the years. I think he's too conservative. I really do. But I think by allowing Bellingham to play where the hell Bellingham wants, he's going to do himself and the team a massive favour in terms of their attacking. The team is not perfect, but I don't think any team is perfect. We had the left-sided centre-back, the left back, so left-sided centre-back was Harry Maguire, left back Kieran Trippier, and left winger in Marcus Rashford, all kicking the ball with the right foot. That's not great. That needs to be addressed, but they can address it. Luke Shaw can come in there, and Ben Chilwell can come in, and that can be sorted out. It really can. And I haven't even mentioned Raheem Sterling. Oh no, I have Raheem Sterling. He had a couple of good games for Chelsea. Will he find real form? He may well do. England are absolutely blessed. And I haven't even mentioned any of the team that won the Under-21 Championship last summer. I've even mentioned people like Morgan Gibbs-White, really talented, immensely talented, not even featuring in there. Abiri Eze, I know he's played for England before. Some really talented players to come through, no doubt about it. I don't know if you noticed during that game, as Gahey, who came on as a substitute for John Stones, he did a really good block, a really, really good defensive block. And he was chuffed. He had this big smile on his face. He was really excited. And I think Pickford came out and patted him on the back. And there was a sort of point where, hold on, I better be professional. He wiped the grin off his face, which I thought was quite funny. Did really make me laugh. Skamaka scored, of course, didn't he? That was interesting. I didn't realise it was his first goal for Italy there, but there was nothing Italy could do really against England. England were just far too good, and I'll tell you what, I felt for a lot of the game, England were playing in third or fourth gear, and then there was a couple of occasions I went into fifth gear. And it was usually when Bellingham or Harry Kane stepped in, and obviously Rashford and Foden as well, were quite potent in attack. They'd switch it up and they'd go into fifth gear, and it was really quite an impressive sight to behold. So, look, there's a long way to go. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still dislike the international break in the Premier League calendar. But you know what? If we're going to play like that, that sort of softens it a little bit more. I understand you've got to qualify. I understand you've got to play international games. It's just where they break it up and you have 2 weeks off, don't you? I just wonder if maybe they would be a little bit better off rather than taking a 2-week break, playing for a month, and having another 2-week break. It's just stopping the Premier League once and then sort of squeezing it all in 3.5 weeks or something like that, and then giving all the international players 6 days off or something like that. Then the Premier League starts again. I don't know. There's got to be a better way than this stop-start to the Premier League. But ultimately, I thought it was really good, very impressive. Jude Bellingham, it's amazing. 20 years of age. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There were people in that under-21 team that were older than Jude Bellingham. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, there you go. World-class players. Be interested to know your thoughts on that. Definitely have a little chat in the comments on that one. And I'd be really interested to know what you think England's chances are against some of the best teams. But I'd make no mistake about it, I think we just played one. Italy, absolutely, are one of the best teams. I've got to say, Italy got some players there as well. Sorry, I was just about to finish the video there. Players like Barella, who are magnificent players. Rashford came on as well. Really good players. They didn't do anything. They were swamped. Absolutely swamped by England. So, yeah, there you go. I've given Gareth Southgate plenty of stick in the past. But I tell you what, if he can play a team something close to that and just sort out, get a little bit of balance, get a left footer on that left-hand side of the pitch, I think England are going to be a force to be reckoned with.